Hello friend, welcome back to Auto Resource YouTube channel. What are you looking at here? It's a 88 Isuzu Trooper, which is super cool vehicle, right? It's becoming total classic. And my friend called me and he said, hey, I can smell a gas. Can I bring it to your shop? I don't know where it's coming, but I smell a gas. It's kind of emergency. Can you help me out with that? I said, yes. We brought it here, outside in the parking lot. I already saw that the smell was coming from the back, and I saw wetness on the bottom of the gas tank. We use this transmission jack, right, which you see here, to lower the gas tank cover, which is here. You actually see, right, that wetness, that leaking. And while we are standing right here, I took a rag, one of these, and tried to wipe off the bottom because nothing was leaking. But the moment I went over the paint, I actually opened the leak. And the leak is from the very small pinhole. It's right here. It's not this one, which might look like that, but it's actually right here. If you see that black spot, that's where the very thin leak is coming from. So we removed here the drain plug, right? Believe it or not, these cars are super awesome. They were equipped, the gas tank was equipped with the drain plug. And finally see it is zoomed on, right? So we removed that, caught the fuel in all kind of possible containers and buckets and so on, right? So it was kind of crazy, but we did that, and now I'm going to patch it for him so he can drive it tomorrow, and meanwhile look for the tank. These tanks are not readily available, right? This is older vehicle, 88 Isuzu Trooper, so we will of course immediately replace the tank, but they are not available, so we need to do some fix. The next step you didn't see, I took a wire brush, steel wire brush, right, and start scratching and cleaning this area. You see that black little hole right there? That's where it's pouring out from, right there. So I used the wire brush, but the metal, this is a metal tank, right? The metal is still way too smooth, and I wanna put some roughness on it, right? You see the fuel is still leaking, unfortunately. So I wanna rough it up so that fixing putty will stick to it really good. Anytime you're using glue, right, you need to rough up, to sand the surface, make a scratches into it, right, that the glue or whatever you are using can perfectly adhere to it. So this is what I will be using. It's a permatex fuel tank repair, and this is the product. They say it's permanent repair, right? Sticks to gasoline wet metal. So even despite the fact you saw that it's still seeping a little bit, right, this should stick to it. And I'm serious about making that metal rough so that whole thing, the putty, right, can stick to it. So that brush, in my opinion, wasn't enough. I have such a scratch tool. It has a super sharp tip. And look what I will do. I want to scratch this around it. And the purpose is to adhere to it, right? So I want to make a scratches. This is a metal, and this will help for the product to adhere to it. Trust me, it's really important. Definitely this is needed, because this will make sure it will not peel off. And this is what the maker says, right? To achieve optimum adhesion, clean grease or dirt off surfaces to be repaired. Wearing gloves, right? twist or cut off required amount. Mix by kneading epoxy stick to a uniform color. If mixing is difficult, warm epoxy stick to room temperature or slightly above. Apply to the repair surface within 30 minutes of mixing, forcing into any cracks or holes to be filled. Remove excess material with a tool moistened with clean water before hardening begins. Alright? Note, when applying to a damp, wet or slowly leaking area, work the mixed epoxy into the surface and apply pressure until adhesion begins to take effect. Fuel tank repair epoxy sets in 1 hour, can be machined in 5 hours and fully cures in 24 hours. It does not adhere to the plastic tanks. I'm just trying to show you every single step of it, right? So you might decide if you, in the case that happens to you, you might use that too. So this is the stick out of the package, and I will separate whatever chunk I think I need. What do you think? Is this enough? Probably. So I will cut it off, right? They say twist it off or whatever. I'll use my knife. I'm wearing those gloves, as they said, right? Obviously it's chemicals. Look how it looks on the cut. Do you see that? So it makes sense, right? Now you will be mixing two parts together. Here is the stick, right? You will be mixing two parts together, and that will start that process of that epoxy working as a sealer. So I have it, right? There's no paper. There was the one side that had paper on it, and I will start breaking it and mixing it together, netting it together, right? Kneading it, netting it. What's the correct English? So again, I want to show you, and I will keep mixing it. Now we remember, right? It said you have 1 hour to work with it, right? Before it will start hardening and so on. So I believe it's supposed to become like a brown thing. So I will keep working it, right? You've got idea, right? I want to perfectly, thoroughly mix it. If you work around the gas, right? Never obviously use any open fire, no smoking. I have this garage fully open, and I still have a headache from it because these fumes, right? It's all over here. So all of us just observe the safety, right? Be safe. Make sure well ventilated area. Yep. So this is what is happening out of it, right? It's becoming kind of really brownish or something. The maker really clearly said, remove all the oils, right? Anything what could stop the glue sticking to it. So I'm using the clean shop towel for drying it. The last dry, I can feel, you can maybe even hear it, how rough the surface is, and that should promote and help, right? Help with that adhesion. So what I will do right now, looking at it, yeah, that hole is like 1 millimeter hole. It's amazing. And it's still seeping, unfortunately, but they say it doesn't matter, it will stick to it. So let's see. I'm creating a patch, right? And I will just force it. If you want to stick, right? They say if you want to be peeling off something and removing it, put the water on your tool, right? Because you see the gloves keep sticking to it, right? Let's see, I put water on my gloves. Oh yeah, it's sticking way less. Perfect. So I will show you close up from all kinds of directions, right? So you can see it. So far it seems to be sticking and not peeling off, right? I hope you see the details. We will say goodbye to it. It will be curing here overnight, and tomorrow morning we will be pouring the gas in the tank. So I left it here overnight, and this is the condition after approximately 20 hours. Right, so it's still here. So I will put that drain plug in and start filling it. Here you can see it ready. So let's do it. You can observe if it will be leak or not. And just to make it absolutely clear, I'm not being paid by anybody to do this, right? I just somehow had a time to film this because the car was here. I had a relaxed schedule. So this is the reason why you guys can see it, if it works or not. I actually never used that product before. Okay, here it comes. Assuming you hear it pouring in the tank, and I'm hoping there's no fuel leaking on the ground. So all these 5 gallons are in. This is empty. I'm wondering how this repair ended up. So let's go and look together. So the plug is not leaking. I torqued it carefully. It has a gasket there. It's not leaking. And look, it's all good, right? You can hear there is a gas in it, and it's not leaking. So this is great so far, right? Everything's fine. I will go ahead, put that cover back, and for this moment this Isuzu is ready to go back on the road. So I will post this video for you, right, so you can see what I did, which product I used, and if this will ever give up, if it will fall off or something will happen with it, I will post it in the comment underneath the video, right, if there needs to be update. If there will be nothing underneath the video, that means it's holding and it's still lasting. So thank you for watching, and be subscribed. I have a lot of videos coming your way on this channel. See you later, my friend.